Listen closely. If your body relaxes when an obligation disappears, you are not broken, you are not weak, and you are not antisocial. That quiet relief carries information, and if you understand it, you gain control over how your time, energy, and attention are spent. Most people are taught to feel ashamed of that relief. An inner voice immediately appears and whispers, "Should have wanted this. You're being lazy. You're letting people down." So you ignore the feeling, or you punish yourself for it, or you promise to be more available next time. Over time, this creates a pattern. You say yes when your energy is already thin. You attend events you quietly dread. You keep commitments that cost more than they return, not because you want to, but because saying no feels uncomfortable or risky or socially dangerous. That discomfort becomes familiar, and familiarity slowly replaces self-respect. The relief you feel when plans are canceled is not a flaw. It is a signal that your internal limits were crossed. Ignoring that signal trains you to abandon yourself in small ways, again and again, till exhaustion feels normal. This is not happening in isolation. Modern life quietly rewards constant availability. Calendars fill automatically. Notifications demand instant response. Social norms treat attendance as loyalty and busyness as virtue. The system favors the default. Yes, it is built for speed, not sustainability. People who need recovery time, deep focus, or emotional space pay an invisible tax when a plan is canceled and relief appears. That relief is not rebellion against people. It is relief from a system that assumes your time belongs to everyone. Understanding this matters, because once you see the frame, you stop moralizing your limits. You stop seeing boundaries as personal failures. Start seeing them as practical. It's design choices. You are not rejecting connection. You are reclaiming capacity, and capacity is what allows you to show up fully when it actually matters. Psychology calls this decision fatigue. Philosophy calls it stewardship of attention. Different words, same truth. Your ability to engage is finite. Every commitment pulls from the same reservoir. Mental energy, emotional regulation, and presence. When that reservoir runs low, everything feels heavier than it should. Protecting your attention is not indulgence, it is maintenance. High-functioning people do not rely on motivation. They rely on structure. They use small policies instead of constant negotiation. Reply windows instead of instant responses. Recovery pockets instead of burnout cycles. Most importantly, they treat emotional signals as data, not moral judgments. Relief is one of those signals. When respected, it becomes a guide. When ignored, it becomes exhaustion. Here is the core lesson. Repeat it until it sticks. Relief is information. When plans are canceled and your body softens, that softness is data. It tells you where your energy was being overdrawn. Relief is information. It is not laziness. It is not selfishness. It is not failure. It is feedback. Relief is information. When you notice it, pause. Name what was lifted. Was it time pressure, social performance, decision load, or emotional labor? Relief is information. Once named, it can be used. You can adjust one small rule. You can protect 1 hour. You can decline one. Low return commitment. Next time, relief is information. Use scripts to make boundaries effortless. Simple lines remove emotional negotiation. I need tonight to recover. Can we reschedule? Short.com and complete.relief is information. After a cancellation, create a small ritual. 5 minutes of breathing, a quiet walk, one line written in a notebook. Rituals tell your nervous system that rest is safe, repeatable, and allowed. Relief is information. Do not moralize it. Measure it. Count how often relief appears. Notice patterns. Evenings, weekends, certain people, certain environments. Relief is information. Measurement leads to design. Design leads to calm. Calm leads to better decisions. Repeat this process. Notice the relief. Name the source. Make a small change. Observe the result again and again. Over time, your life stops being shaped by obligation, okay? It starts being shaped by intention. Say this quietly to yourself. Relief is data. Relief is not shame. Relief guides priorities. When you feel relief, pause. When you feel relief, learn. When you feel relief, choose. Now, seal this with a simple practice. For 1 month, keep a tiny ledger. Each time a cancellation brings relief, write one sentence. What cleared how you felt? One small adjustment to test at the end of the month. Review the pattern. Choose 2 boundaries to keep. 1 recovery habit, 1 availability limit. This turns fleeting relief, okay, into long-term clarity. Final truth. Your attention is valuable. Protect it gently, protect it consistently, and stop apologizing for doing. So imagine an empty chair at the end of the day. That chair represents time returned to you. A canceled plan once freed an hour that became reflection, then creativity, then momentum. Pause here. 3 seconds of quiet. Relief is not absence. It is space, and space is where focus, depth, and self-respect quietly grow. Begin with a small experiment tonight. When a plan falls away, pause for 1 full breath and allow yourself to notice the relief without explanation. Note it in your tiny ledger with 1 honest line. What left? How your body changed. And 1 tiny rule you could try next time. Repeat this for a month, not to prove anything to anyone, but to teach yourself what your life actually needs. Over weeks, you will start to see patterns. Which evenings refill your reserves, which invitations drain them, and which relationships require clear limits to remain nourishing. Use that data to make 3 soft commitments. 1 hour protected each evening, 1 short script to save your energy, and 1 weekly recovery ritual you will not cancel. These are small, repeatable acts of care that compounded transform how you live. They make presence possible, and they make your yes meaningful. Honor relief as a teacher. It's not a fault. And let that steady practice quietly build a life where you show up whole and without apology.